Tied Down TV, the punk rock opinion show with me, Geoff
and Danny.
And today we're talking about our top 5 UK82 and anarcho-punk. Now, we've combined two subgenres of punk a little bit there, but there is reasoning behind that. So obviously after you had the first wave of punk in the 70s, you know, late 70s, a lot of those bands either split up like the Pistols or moved on sound-wise like the Clash did. And these new bands all started forming like around, you know, late 78, 79, 80, all kind of forming around maybe you'd say a harder, faster sound. And obviously some radical politics with the anarcho-punk stuff coming in as well, which obviously, I think one thing we've said, haven't we, at the times of that period.
Mass unemployment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They all had one thing in common was
Thatcher's Britain, mass unemployment. During the backdrop of the Falklands War as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So all of that kind of, and there's obviously some overlapping bands in that UK82 into anarcho and vice versa. Some of the sounds very similar, some of them aren't. Yeah. But also the fact that between us, I'm a little bit more into anarcho-punk, probably a little bit more into UK82 than I am. Yeah. So
I'd say that's fair.
Yeah, that's, you know, they're the reasons. But it all kind of makes up that second wave of punk in the UK for me. Yeah. And I think UK82 is often just used as a blanket term that covers a lot of those bands. Yeah. So
I was saying to you, I mean, what could you? Is it just in that little period? Could like certain oi bands be classed in there as well? You know, I was tampering with picking some oi bands.
There's probably arguments to be made that you could have, like, but maybe save that for
another video,
or another time. But these two, for me, I felt comfortable putting these two together. Yeah, it seemed,
and it was obvious we were going to have to start from one place, wasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah,
one band that we've both
picked something
by. Discharge.
Yeah, man.
One of the most influential bands ever.
Yeah. Completely influenced. There's a whole genre just named after their drum beat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how influential they are. But even like you said, we've said only thrash metal. Yeah. Even death metal, grindcore.
All the big heads name drop these as an influence.
Absolutely. Even right so. On top of like Metallica, still cover songs by them now live and stuff like. And obviously it was on the Garage Inc. stuff. But it was hard to like. We both probably preferred. Why, don't we? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I do love this as well.
I always thought Discharge's best stuff was the 7 inches they did at the beginning.
Yeah. And let's be fair, probably would have picked Fight Back or the Realities of
But we are still trying to stick to LPs, aren't we?
We specified it otherwise, but Discharge has to be picked. To be picked. Best band of the period, pretty much. Yeah. Fucking awesome, aren't they? Like, every tune, great. Yeah.
Ain't No Feeble Bastard is definitely my favourite on this. My version's different to this one, actually. So we've used, for the sake of the video, we've used Geoff's copy. So I haven't had to bring all my records over. Mine does have a few bonus tracks. It has my favourite Discharge track on my version, which is Ain't No TV Sketch.
That's on one of the 7 inches, though, as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But yeah, it's a great song. Is that Realities of War 7 inches? Or maybe even Fight Back, actually.
But, No TV Sketch is my favourite tune. That's a good tune. Which is a
Discharge song, man.
Out of the ones you've got on here, Ain't No Feeble Bastard is definitely my favourite. Okay. But every tune there's no bad tune.
It's great. I mean, Star Visions of War. Yeah, it's great. It's amazing. And this is cool as well. Great. The title track opening with this. It's great, man. Free Speech for the Dumb. The Possibility of Life's Destroyed. It's cool. It's great.
Survive. They're a band we could probably use the whole video talking about this. This
just gush over all the 7 inches as well. Yeah. Absolutely fucking brilliant band. Still going, still touring, still relatively good.
And depending on the time you've seen them live, you might have seen them with a different vocalist. That's very true. I've seen them only one time, and it was with the Varukers singer.
See, it wasn't when I saw them.
Who did you see them with?
I actually don't know who the singer was.
Oh, right.
But he wasn't the Varukers singer because he was a skinny dude with black spiky hair.
Oh, okay.
So definitely not the singer from the Varukers.
Yeah. Well, we got tickets, haven't we, for one?
We're going to see him in
the current singer who's meant to be amazing.
April, I think it is. Yeah. So but if you've never heard Discharge, man, fuck it out. Yeah. Get out there and get on that. Either of these, any of the 7 inches. Stay clear of some of the maybe the second.
He did the Celtic Frost, didn't he? And he went a bit. Didn't he make a few turkeys later on?
The second album, what's it called? Brave New World.
Didn't he go glam or something like that?
Hair metal, man.
Yeah, I've always avoided it just because
I listened to a few tracks,
common knowledge,
just out of curiosity, but But they still put stuff out now that's kind of obviously in this vein, and it's it's not this or that, but it's still great. But Discharge, man. Yeah,
Discharge.
Get on them.
I'll go my first. Second pick, shall we say? This was a last second edition swap. Yeah. So I've gone the first Chaos UK LP, The only thing I can say about this is it is filthy sounding.
Yeah.
Filthy. I remember when I first got this many years ago, I actually thought there was something up with it. I put it on and I was like, nah, I've been sold a dodgy one here.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, I got a nice fresh copy while I was on holiday in Denmark. And I put that on, I was like, God, it sounds just as bad.
Yeah, man.
So it just is the sound. It's just a filthy, horrible, horrible sound. It's not their best stuff. I think the Burning Britain 7-inch is better. It's got I think it's got their best song on, which is No Security. But yeah, that's my second pick.
They're a great band.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Good.
And they're the centerpiece of my battle jacket as well. Yeah.
Jacket,
so yeah, I've got my second pick is the Blue album Chaos UK.
So my second pick, I've gone Varukers, One Struggle, One Fight, as we've obviously just been talking about them with Discharge. These often get called the first D-beat band because obviously they came around just after Discharge with that sound. This is a fucking great record though, man.
Amazing.
It is. You know, it's in that vein. It's very UK82, very
close to getting in mind.
Very close to like that D-beat, you know that drum beat. But it's fucking cool. This was like probably the last one that I decided on, I think, in my picks, but
I probably held off knowing that you probably wanted to get it in there.
It was a tough one. There was a couple I was choosing between. I ended up picking this one, and the other one I was deciding between will be my honourable mention. But this is great. I've not got too much to say about it really, other than it is really good. It's very in that sound. If you like that dischargey kind of thing, go and get this. Like, this is, from what I understand, it's possibly the best thing they did.
Yeah.
I've not heard it all, but I've heard a couple. But this is fucking brilliant, man. You should go and get that. The Varukers.
I don't know if it is the best thing they did, only because I've got a compilation by them. It's got a lot more of their early stuff on, and I'd say a lot of that stuff is probably a little bit better. Not much, do you know what I mean? It's still great.
Yeah.
In terms of an LP, though, I'll probably say yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. So that's my second pick. One Struggle, One Fight, the Varukers.
My next pick, I'm going for the album that coined the term.
Yeah.
The Exploited, Troops of Tomorrow. Story time. Okay, so the first time I ever heard The Exploited was the song UK82, and I heard that as a child when I watched the film Made in Britain, starring Tim Roth.
Yeah.
And that was directed by Alan Clark. Now, what a lot of people don't know about Alan Clark, very, very important director. Similar to the bands we're talking about today, his films were very much a commentary of the times, Thatcher's Britain.
Yeah.
He made some unbelievable movies at the time. Obviously, he made Made in Britain. He made Scum with Ray Winston.
Great film.
The Firm with Gary Oldman, footy hooligan film.
Yeah,
and the really controversial and hilarious Rita Sue and Bob 2. But what people don't realise about Alan Clark is he was actually born in Wallasey.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was born in Wallasey, went to Poulton Primary.
Local lad.
Yeah, and also his childhood home was on the Liso off Twickenham Drive, just a few streets down from where my mum's family grew up.
Yeah.
So he's a local, a bit of a local legend. The more people should know that he's actually from Wallasey, and he did some really, really brilliant films at the time. And the title track to Made in Britain, starring Gary Oldman, which is about a violent skinhead, young violent skinhead. The opening track to that is UK82.
Yeah.
I do love this album. They're not my favourite band in the world, it must be said, but I do love this album. It's worth getting just for the song UK82 and Disorder, which are both amazing, amazing songs. So, but I do love the whole album, even though I'm not a huge Exploited fan.
I'm not a fan, really. They wouldn't have. There was no chance they were tickling my top 5, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I understand. I get
of that UK82 stuff. That's my least favourite.
I do love this album, though. I have to say, we have spoke about this, and I've told you a few times that even though I'm not a huge fan, this album is great.
You do like that album.
And I did actually say in another video, if anyone from the time can find a singer who sounds more pissed off than John Brand from Negative Approach, I've got to say Watty does kind of come close vocally.
Yeah, he's got a bit of that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's my next pick, is The Exploited, Troops of Tomorrow.
So my next pick, possibly one of, if not the first, in terms of anarcho-punk, Feeding of the 5,000, Crass. If we're talking anarcho-punk, this is there, isn't it? This actually was very close in the very first video we did, which was 70s punk. I was close picking this, 1979. It just felt like it needed to be in a video more about what came after it, like the anarcho stuff. But this is fucking so good. Like, I could talk about this for a whole video as well. I'll tell you the story. First time I heard Crass, so actually wasn't this album. I was in, you'll remember, Stairways, good old days. I was talking to someone, I won't say the name, but I was talking to someone at the time when we were talking about punk music.
Must have been a dickhead.
No, not necessarily. And, you know, it was back and forth, and they asked me if I'd ever heard Crass. I said, no, I've never heard Crass. So they told me to actually go out and get Penis Envy, which is actually all female vocals, no Steve Ignorant, anything. So that's the first album I heard by Crass. I do love that as well. But then when I dug a little deeper, I got this. And from the moment the second track kicks in, which is probably one of their most famous, and I heard Steve Ignorant ask, do they owe us a living? Of course they fucking do.
Yeah.
That was it. I was like, oh yeah, I'm having this.
Yeah.
But it's fucking great. Punk is Dead's on here. That's a tune. Band from the Roxy.
So What? That's a well good tune.
Massive, great song. But it's got loads on here. They've got bombs on here.
Yeah.
You know, the Fight War, Not Wars chants. It's just class. Any Crass album, if you get it on vinyl, it comes like the artwork. It all opens out. It's amazing.
They're kind of like a collective, aren't they, Crass?
It's like an art. It's an art movement. I think they tried to think, and they obviously all lived. You know, they lived the stuff they preached. They lived in a house, which was the drummer Penny Rimbound, and they all lived. You know, they were all vegetarian. They all grew food. They all grew their own food. Lived at a commune like anarchists. You know, and I believe I think Penny still lives there now. Still got that house. Still kind of lives that lifestyle. Steve Ignorant, I'm not so sure if he lives fully in that anarchy lifestyle.
A few times,
met him a couple of times.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Yeah.
You know, back on track talking about this. This is a fucking class album.
It is a class album.
If you do want to like check out,
Do They Owe Us a Living is a fucking brilliant song.
It's an amazing song, isn't it? So good. The lyrics on here, like I say, it's an iron fist, but maybe it's more like an iron glove with a velvet fist because it's aggressive music but peaceful lyrics. It's fucking great though. Yeah. Go and check it out. Feeding of the 5,000, Crass. It's amazing.
Yeah. My next pick. I could have picked the debut LP, City Baby Attacked by Rats, but I've gone for this. I've gone for Leather Bristles. This is a compilation, isn't it? This isn't actually but this 12 inch is amazing. I really like it. GBH, I'm a little bit pissed off because they never seem to play the Northwest.
No, they only ever play Rebellion.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They never play like Manchester or Liverpool.
But these again, it's just really good. Would you class them as a D-beat band?
I wouldn't say so. It is more just that like UK82, like kind of fast punk, innit?
Yeah. But it is an amazing. I love every song on it. You know, it's a fucking brilliant. It's got great artwork. It's one of them recognisable images, isn't it, that you see with the guy on the front like that.
The first time I heard them was not this comp, but it was a singles comp, and it pretty much had a lot of these on there. No Survivors was on there, obviously Sick Boy, stuff like that. And I was quite young, maybe 15, 16, and like, it was. I liked it then. Probably, again, wasn't really ever going to get in my top 5, I don't think, GBH.
Yeah, well, I do really love this, to be fair.
It's good. It's definitely worth having.
Yeah, the opening tune, Race Against Time, is amazing.
It's class. Yeah. But they are a fucking great band still. And one that I'd like to see. I haven't never seen.
Yeah, never seen them.
Be great to tick off the list.
But GBH. Could have been the first album, but I've gone for this. Yeah,
that's better than City Babies. But so my next pick, I've gone for Icons of Filth, Not on Her Majesty's Service. This is the first album. I think when it came out first, it only came out on tape, and it was on Mortar Hate, which is the Conflict-owned record label. Very similar to Crass Records. They were putting out a lot of their, kind of anarcho-sounding bands. These are one of the bands I would say get lumped in both camps, maybe because their sound is close to that UK82, but they're very left, very anarchist. But this is fucking cool, man. This was a later discovery in life for me. These were kind of like one that I listened to maybe only a few years ago for the first time. Properly had to listen to them. I was in a little bit of an anarcho phase, so you're trying to, as you do, don't you? When you're in one of them, you try and look for bands you've not heard and that. And I picked this up, quite cheap, and it's fucking class. It's really good. Some of the songs appeared on the next album they did as well, Onward Christian Soldier, I think it's called. But I prefer them on here. This is cool. It's a bit rough recording-wise, like I say, because I think it's just recorded straight onto a tape. It's fucking really good, man. If you've not heard that as well, don't check it out. I feel like it's a little bit of an undersung gem.
I need to give it a go because I've not heard it.
I think that was about £11. I picked that up on channel as well, but that's really fucking cool. Definitely worth checking out. Like I say, they do kind of straddle both camps, but it's great. And obviously, lyrically, it's very anarchist, very hard on the left-hand side of things. It's fucking cool, man. Go and get it.
My final pick, I've gone for Subhumans, Day the Country Died.
That's a great.
Just one of the best punk bands to ever come out of the UK.
Fucking artwork.
Yeah, we seen him recently.
Best artwork.
Yeah, we seen him this year, didn't we? And he's still pissed off at his age.
Yeah, they was fucking great.
Yeah,
Weren't they,
still gives it beans.
Yeah, he's cool, man.
Yeah, could have got
slinging new merch, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, similar to Discharge though. I think their best stuff is the first group of 7-inches they did. But this is fucking amazing as well.
I really like the second album, Cradle to the Grave, as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the first album of theirs I got into.
Yeah, yeah. I do prefer probably the 7-inches. But everything, I do like pretty much everything.
Yeah, same. Everything I've heard of theirs. I haven't heard a couple of the later albums, to be fair.
Yeah.
But the 7-inches are good, like.
Yeah, probably my favourite tune is Mickey Mouse is Dead, got kicked in the head. Yeah.
I like No.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe in Jesus Christ. That one's amazing. Yeah. But it's full of fucking great tunes, isn't it? Nothing I Can Do is great.
Yeah, it's a brilliant. Like I said, we've seen him recently. He still gave it big time, even at their age. Singer's still angry as fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'd missed them a few times over the years.
That was the second time I saw them.
I'd never seen them, but fate had just made it that I hadn't seen them until that point, and when I did, I was very, very pleasantly surprised how much they could give it still.
Great. That was much better. That time we saw him with you was better than the first time. The first time I saw him was in a bigger venue.
Yeah.
It was in where we saw Black Flag.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Sound didn't come across well.
Right, okay, yeah.
In where we saw them in Wigan, it was fucking cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
That is such a good album, again, on the anarcho side of things. But even
I love the vocals are amazing.
Yeah.
Sound quite similar to Steve Ignorant, I reckon, his style.
Definitely. I think a lot of that stuff at that time has definitely got that
very anti-war,
kind of
lyrics
thing going
and all
on.
that.
Yeah, very anti-war.
But kind of done in all our lyrics kind of sarcastic the way he delivers them and stuff like that.
Yeah. But sing a lot about animal rights and things as well.
A lot of that type of stuff.
The hardcore vegans, aren't they?
But I just think they're one of the best punk bands to ever come out of the UK anyway.
Wouldn't argue with that. And if you weren't picking it, I probably would have.
Yeah.
So
that's my last pick.
That's a
Subhumans.
Fucking great choice.
The Day the Country Died.
Absolutely class album. My last one, I've gone for Death Church by Rudimentary Peni. Now, this is a band that I think to appreciate him properly, you probably have to go and look up a little bit about the singer Nick Blinko. I'm not going to talk too much about him. He's got a lot of mental health issues and he struggles. He's also an amazing artist. All Rudimentary Peni's artwork is done with a pen. We're talking about the music. This is dark. It's fucking twisted dark. It's still, they moved on a little bit sound-wise. They went more death rock rather than kind of punk and anarcho-punk. This has still got the anarcho. If we were allowing 7-inches, I would have picked either the first one or the Farce 7-inch, which I nearly picked to cheat because it's been re-released.
Yeah, Farce I'd have picked if I was going to pick a Rudimentary.
And I've got it. I bought it at the re-release, and the re-release is actually on 12-inch. So I did think about it, but I thought, no, that came out on 7-inch originally. It was on Crass Records. This is on Corpus Christi, I think. But the fucking artwork on this is brilliant. But the songs Rotten to the Core, and these having a go at rock stars, and it includes Johnny Rotten, Joe Strummer, and that.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of hard left anarcho lyrics. Again, vegetarian, animal rights stuff as well. They're a fucking great band, quite a mysterious band as well, because there's not loads out there. They didn't play live after, I think they played one show in the 90s, but they stopped playing live towards the end of the 80s. They're a fucking amazing band, to be fair. Really got quite obsessed with them a few years back.
Yeah.
Really into them. But like I say, really, I'd go and have a little read up and just learn about Nick Blinko, the singer and songwriter, artist. It's fucking great. He's a very clever, but got a lot of troubles, to say the least. But Death Church, this is definitely worth checking out. Like I said with Crass, anything you get by these, the artwork is phenomenal. All folds out, massive. The 7-inch comes with a whole booklet of fucking drawings he's done. It's brilliant. Go and get it. It's easily available as well. It's fucking class. And that was my last pick.
So that's our picks. I'm going to go for an honourable mention. I'm going to go Abrasive Wheels when the punks come marching in.
And I'm going to go Flux of Pink Indians, strive to survive, causing the least suffering possible.
So check in on our next episode when we're going to be talking about
Top 5 grindcore.
That's one for the sweats out there.
Absolutely. Get your mosh on.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.